Look at that. We got our parts in today. What's up guys, welcome to another episode of the 2015 Jeep Wrangler build. I'm Travis with Good Enough Builds, and in this episode, we got new parts. So, those are the new parts and the only new parts that I've had to buy new for this Jeep build so far. That top one there, well, let's see if I can get my finger on it. That top one there, I'm thinking that's gonna be my cast oil pan, and that bottom one I'm thinking is gonna be my rad support. So, I mean, without further ado, let's cut these boxes open and see what we got. Here we are. So there's that. Alright, so we've got both of the parts unpackaged and they do look really good here. On the initial look, I don't see any scratches, any damages on either one of these parts. The only thing that skipped my heartbeat a little bit was this. The reason I was worried about seeing that hole was because on the aluminum cast oil pan that I have, on the driver's side is where the hole is, and that's about the toonie size hole, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit smaller. But I seen that and I thought to myself, oh crap, is this one have a hole too? That was my initial thought. I would think it was a pretty stupid thought. It happened in under a second, whatever you want to consider it. But yeah. Never give up. This is 4 hours later of trying to get this shit undone. Never give up. We're finally getting the oil pan off. Alright, oh my gosh. Well, as you can see from my shirt, and my hands, and my arms, a little bit frustrated. That took me a fuck of a long time. So, that one was being a stubborn bitch, didn't want to come out. So what I had to do was I had to take the black oil pan out first, wherever that is, and then use that leverage that the space of the black oil pan gave me to remove this oil pan. So now that this one's out, I know I might have a bit of a problem putting the other one in because I might have melted the gasket that this one came out with. And I didn't have a new gasket that I ordered. I didn't order a new gasket. So now that that aluminum cast oil pan is out, let's see the collateral damage. Show you guys what I'm talking about here. This big hole here, I was worried about that. So what happened is every time that I filled this thing up with oil up into a certain point, it would just start water falling out the bottom. So every time that I started it, I had to pour some oil in it, get it up to the bottom line of that. It'd pour out a little bit, drip one or two, but it would give me just enough time and just enough oil in the engine to move it to where I needed to move it. That said, let's get this old aluminum junk oil pan out of here. This new one is going to require some gasket maker. I just looked at the bottom of the engine. It looks like there was gasket maker that was up there. Scrape that all away, scrape the bottom of the engine block away. So we'll get to Windsor, get some gasket maker, and we'll see you when we get back. Okay, so to recap here, we've got the oil pan out, everything's apart, and we're ready to install the new one in. The only thing we've got to do at this point, we got to scrape away all the old gasket maker on where the gaskets used to be. So as you can see here, I've already started a little bit here up top, but we got to take all that gasket maker off that. Once I take all the gasket maker off that, I got to hop right back up under the Jeep, and I got to take all the gasket maker off the bottom of the engine block. I'm not looking forward to that part, so I'm going to get this little black pan done first. But as soon as this black pan's done, I guess we're going to have to get back under there. So, no ands, ifs, or buts. Let's get to it. Good morning, guys. Back here this morning with the Jeep. Overnight, I let the gasket sealer settle so you don't have any problems when we're putting the oil in. So now that the gasket sealer's in there and I've taken the time to torque it down, I'm gonna be putting some oil in this thing, making sure it doesn't leak. And then as soon as the oil is in there and ready to go, getting this thing off those damn jack stands, getting it out of here, and then calling up my frame guy to book this thing in for a frame straightening. So, without further ado, let's get this damn thing out of the shop. Let's get this oil in here and let's back it out of here. Let's get to it. Alright, we're right there. There we go. Perfect. Done. Now, this thing is wiggling a little bit, so I gotta put that nut back on the engine block or whatever it is. Fasten that back on there. Get that wiggle out of there. Alright, it's time. We've got everything done. All the oil's in there. Dipstick's in there. Dipstick's fastened. So let's get this thing out of the shop and make sure there's no oil leaks. I know there's gonna be a big puddle of oil down here because of everything that I was taking off, but we'll clean that up and I'll put a piece of cardboard under the Jeep just to make absolute sure that there's no oil leaks, and then I'll call up my bodywork guy and we'll see what we're gonna have him do with the framework, potentially even paint it. But yeah, we'll make that call and we'll get there. So I'm gonna get a battery in this thing and get this thing out of the shop. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is take a box. I'm gonna take this box and under my Jeep just to make sure there are no leaks of any sorts. I know I'm gonna get some water leaks, some water driplets here and there, as you can already see in the bottom there. But okay, let's see if that cardboard does some good, does some bad. I mean, either way, I'm gonna find out if it leaks, right? That's what the cardboard's gonna do. But with that being said, yeah, oil pan's done. So next thing we've got to work on potentially would be the rad support in the grill, but I just got done off the phone with my body guy and he says don't worry about the grill so much because he can do the grill. The grill's gonna be 10-15 minutes maybe, so he can do that. But what I will focus on to make his job easier is, well, I mean, you can see that the Jeep is just a little off to the right a little bit. So the reason that that is because if you look in here, this shock isn't necessarily straight, and that's not holding any compression or anything. And another problem in this area is this. That's the brake line. So to make his job and the bodywork and the frame straightening as easy as possible, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove that brake line, replace that brake line, bleed the brakes, and take care of that shock as well. Along with that, I'm gonna take my soft top and I'm gonna put that on the Jeep as well. Because I figure, well, if I have it on the trunk, then he's gonna be able to fold it up and see if everything lines up, and being able to fold it back and forth and make it a lot easier. I think it's better than not having it in the first place, especially when he's not gonna be doing any work in the back end. So, I mean, that's where all this space is gonna be taken up by the soft top. So, with that said, that's gonna be the end of this episode. I'm glad that I got the oil pan done and I got this Jeep out of the shop. So in the next episode, what I'm gonna be knocking out is I'm gonna be knocking out my front suspension. I'm gonna get both shocks done because I've got a Rubicon kit there from the stock Rubicon shocks. One of my friends actually helped me out. He just got a brand new Rubicon and he just put a brand new lift kit on it. So he's gonna give me a stock shocks. And fortunately, with my lift kit that I have, the stock shocks will work because I just got the spring lift kit. So in the next episode, what you can look forward to is I'm gonna be replacing the front brake line, I'm gonna be replacing the front suspension system, and I'm gonna be putting a soft top on this baby. If you've already come to the end of this episode, you've probably watched some other episodes before. If you haven't, go check them out. Go on ahead and like this video, hit that subscribe button if you guys wanna see more, and comment what you guys are working on down below. I'd like to see that. So without further ado, I'm gonna end it here. You guys have a good day. Peace.